Okay, today we are going to learn a new unit named Adventure. Have you heard the word adventure? Yes. What is an adventure? Adventure means it is a risky activity or unusual, exciting, risky activity is called adventure. We had heard about many adventurous trips, right? Have you heard about adventurous trips? Have you seen programs related to adventure in your television in various channels, right? We had so many programs related to adventure in Hindi channels or Malayalam channels, English channels, etc. Right? Have you heard about adventurous stories? Have you heard? Many of you have read many storybooks related to adventurous trips, right? Many articles. Yeah. Many of you have read many short story books, right? Many short story books. Some of the students may like fiction. Some like to read poems. Some like to read novels, right? People like to read adventurous stories, adventurous trips. Have you heard about Alice in Wonderland? What do you feel after reading the book Alice in Wonderland and you move or you travel through the experiences of Alice, right? I already told you about the adventurous trip, right? I told that adventurous trip is a risky activity or unusual or an exciting activity or extra exciting trip. Then what are the features of an adventurous trip? What are the features? It will have a bravery story. It will be exciting. It will be fearful. It will be thrilling, right? Yes, adventurous trip may have or it will make us feel more passionate, right? Adventurous trip means it make us imagine that we are climbing a mountain, a steep mountain, and we feel it so difficult, but we have an urge to reach the top of the mountain, right? It's an adventure, right? We can call it an adventure. What do you feel? We feel a little bit fear. We feel, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it. But we are so brave to reach the top. Our aim is to reach the top of the mountain, right? So what do? We take our energy, we take our ability to reach the top of the mountain. So we are ready to face any challenges. That is adventure means a risky activity. We are doing a risky activity to reach the top of the mountain. Okay, are you familiar with the word? Okay. അഡ്വഞ്ചർ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താണ്? സാഹസികമായിട്ടുള്ള യാത്ര. അതായത് നമ്മളൊരു വലിയ നദി കടക്കുകയാണ്, ഒരു റിവർ നമുക്ക് ജമ്പ് ചെയ്യണം. അത് നമുക്കവിടെ നമുക്കവിടെ ഒരു അഡ്വഞ്ചർ ഉണ്ട്, നമ്മളൊരു സാഹസികതയുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് മൗണ്ടെയിൻ ക്ലൈംബ് ചെയ്യണം. അവിടെ നമ്മൾ ഒരു സാഹസികത കാണിക്കുകയാണ്. നമ്മൾ ചിലപ്പം പത്രത്തിലൊക്കെ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ വായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാകുമല്ലോ ഒരുപാട് സാഹസികത യാത്രകളെ കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ. ആളുകൾ കാണിക്കുന്ന ഓരോരോ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് എന്തൊക്കെ എത്രമാത്രം അഡ്വഞ്ചറസ് ആണെന്നുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ വായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാകും. നമ്മളിടയ്ക്ക് ഒരു സെയിലർ, അഭിലാഷ് ടോമി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു ആളുടെ സെയിലറിനെ കുറിച്ച് നമ്മൾ കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലായിരുന്നു. അദ്ദേഹം എത്രമാത്രം സ്ട്രഗിൾ ചെയ്താണ് അയാൾ വേൾഡ് ഫുൾ കവർ ചെയ്തെന്നുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ, വോയേജ് ഒരു നടത്തി എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം നമ്മൾ വായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരിക്കും. ഇതൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയാം? അഡ്വഞ്ചറസ് ട്രിപ്പ് എന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാം. ഓക്കെ, ടേക്ക് യുവർ ടെക്സ്റ്റ്, പേജ് നമ്പർ 78. We are going to learn the unit number 5, adventure. In the text you can see an image here. We can see clouds, people, sun, mountains, then flowers, then ship, then sea, etc. Right? What is it called? There is a name for this type of sketches or this type of pictures. It's called doodles. When you surf to the internet, we can see the different types of Google, the picture of Google written in different shapes or written in special art forms, right? That's called Google. I am showing the picture. These are the different doodles we have seen when we surf through the internet. Okay. Have you ever made patterns or shapes in your notebook? Have you ever drawn simple pictures in the back side of your notebook? Yes, we have. During our class hours, we feel bored. We will draw some pictures. We will draw pictures of the people, then mountains, clouds, then house, right? When we are small, we used to draw the pictures, right, of house, sun, plants, right? Like that. Doodles are is a rough drawing of something that is made absent-mindedly. The sketch of your right is a doodle about travel. This is a doodle about a travel. A person's imagination, or a person who created the scenes what he's seen through his travel. This is called a doodle. Doodle means it's a rough drawing, simple drawing. That's not proper drawing. It's a simple drawing that can come from our mind simply when we are sitting freely, etc. That is doodle. There's a box in your textbook. You have to draw the doodle of a space journey. Imagine you are going to space. What all things you see in the space, draw a doodle, okay? Do it at home, okay? Let's move to the lesson, the second voyage. What do you mean by voyage? Voyage means a trip or a travel through the sea is called an voyage. Voyage means a trip or a travel through the sea is called a voyage. അതായത് നമ്മൾ സീ കടലിൽ കൂടെയുള്ള യാത്രയെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയും? voyage എന്ന് പറയും. Got it? Voyage means a long trip involving sea. കടലിൽ കൂടെയുള്ള ഒരു നീണ്ട യാത്രയെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയും? voyage എന്ന് പറയും. Okay? Then shall we move to the lesson? Okay, first one, warm up. Have you ever gone on an adventurous trip? Or have you heard about such a trip from your friends? Narrate the experience in the class. Okay, have you heard about adventurous trips we had discussed? Yes, we have heard about adventurous trips or adventurous journey of various people. From where? On TV interviews, on articles or journals, right? Or what are the experiences they shared in these articles? What are the experiences? They will tell us about how much days they went for the journey, what all things they faced in the journey, how do they attain their success. All the experiences we can get from the reading the articles or hearing interviews of adventurous people. Like that, here in the text, in the lesson, we are going to read a story about an adventurous sailor called Sinbad. Okay, that's character name Sinbad. Shall we move to the lesson? Let's read a story about an adventurous sailor, Sinbad, who lived in Baghdad. Sinbad had gone on a number of dangerous voyages across the world. Here, he narrates the details of his second voyage to an ardent listener who comes every night to listen to his enthralling stories. In the lesson, it's a story about an adventurous sailor, Sinbad, who lived in Baghdad. And Sinbad is an adventurous sailor. Sailor means navigan. Sinbad എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ആൾ എന്താണ്? ഒരു adventurous sailor ആണ് who lived in Baghdad. Then he had gone for a number of journeys. Voyage means long trips through sea. He had went for various voyages, various journeys in the sea across the world. And he narrates means he tells the details of his second voyage to an ardent listener. Ardent means showing strong feelings. Here, Sinbad tells his stories to an ardent listener. Ardent listener means the person who shows strong feelings after hearing his stories. Means എന്താണ്? സിൻബാദ് കഥകളെല്ലാം പറയുമ്പം ഈ കേട്ടുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? He will ഷോ സ്ട്രോങ് ഫീലിങ്സ്. എന്നാൽ അദ്ദേഹം നല്ല ഫീലിങ്സ് കാണിക്കുന്നതാണ്. നമ്മൾ പറയില്ലേ, ഇങ്ങനെ സംഭവിക്കുമോ, ഇങ്ങനെ നമ്മുടെ മുഖത്തൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ ഫീലിങ്സ് ഒക്കെ വരത്തില്ലേ? അതുപോലെ നല്ല ഫീലിങ്സ് കാണിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളുടെ അടുത്താണ് അദ്ദേഹം എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ഹി ഈസ് ടെല്ലിങ് സ്റ്റോറീസ് എവറി നൈറ്റ്. എംത്രാളിങ് മീൻസ് വാട്ട്? ഹോൾഡിങ് വൺസ് അറ്റൻഷൻ. അതായത് ഒരാളുടെ ശ്രദ്ധ പിടിച്ചെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുക. അതാണ് എംത്രാളിങ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ. അതായത് സിൻബാദ് സിൻബാദിന്റെയും കഥകൾ പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്താണ് ആരുണ്ട്, ഒരു ലിസണർ ഉണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹം എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, ഈ കഥകളൊക്കെ കേട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, അദ്ദേഹത്തെ എന്താണ് കൂടുതൽ എന്താണ് ആകാംക്ഷ ഭരിതനാക്കിയാണ്. ഇനി എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും, ഇനി എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും എന്ന് കേൾക്കാനുള്ള ആകാംക്ഷ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു ഈ സിൻബാദ് ആ ലിസണറിന് എന്താണ് നൽകുകയാണ്. അതാണ് ഈ കഥയിൽ പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് നമുക്ക് ഈ കഥയിൽ ഇൻ ദ സ്റ്റോറി വി ക്യാൻ സീ two characters who is Sinbad, the main character, and there's a listener. Okay, and where does Sinbad live? Sinbad lives in Baghdad. And who is he? He is an adventurous sailor. I had made up my mind to stay quietly in Baghdad, but it was not long before I grew bored of a quiet life. I wanted to see the rest of the world. So I decided to set sail once again. I bought a stock of goods with which to trade, and I set sail with some of my merchant friends. What does this first para mean? Here, Sinbad telling us that he had planned that he won't go for any journey anymore. Okay, he won't go for any journey and he will sit or live quietly in Baghdad. But one thing happened. What? He was not ready to sit quietly because he was bored by the quiet life. അതായത് സിൻബാദ് എന്ത് പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തു, ഇനി ഞാൻ ഒരു യാത്രയ്ക്ക് ഒരു ജേർണിക്കും പോകുന്നില്ല എന്ന് പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തു. ബട്ട് ഹി വാസ് ബോർഡ് ബൈ ദ ക്വയറ്റ് ലൈഫ്. ഈ അദ്ദേഹം എന്താണ് ജേർണി അഡ്വഞ്ചറസ് ട്രിപ്പിനൊക്കെ പോകുന്ന ആളല്ലേ. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരുന്നപ്പോ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു, ഹി വാസ് ബോർഡ്. I wanted to see the rest of the world. So I decided to set sail once again. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തത്? He was bored by the quiet life, or his decision of being to sit quietly in Baghdad. He was totally wrong. He took a decision that he wanted to see the rest of the world. So he planned to go for a sail. He planned to go for a journey. So for having a journey, what all things we need? We need some food, we need goods, we need to plan everything like that. Here Sinbad, he bought a stock of goods with which to trade, and I sat with some of my merchant friends. He's a merchant. Merchant means seller of goods. He's a merchant. His stock means he bought a large number of goods and he planned to go for the journey. Here, he is not only a sailor, he was also a trader. Through his journey, he used to trade goods. He used to trade his goods. അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു, അദ്ദേഹം എന്ത് ചെയ്തു, കുറെ സാധനങ്ങൾ വാങ്ങിച്ചു, ഗുഡ്സ് വാങ്ങിച്ചു. എന്തിനാണ്? ട്രേഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. ആൻഡ് ഹി സെറ്റ് sail with his friends, his merchant friends. Paragraph number 2. For many days we went from one island to another, trading and making a tidy profit. One day though, we came to an island that seemed to be covered with fruit trees. There was neither man nor animal anywhere to be seen. We decided to go ashore. My friends went to gather fruit and flowers, but I took some food and sat in the shade of a huge tree. After eating a good meal, I lay down to sleep. I don't know how long I slept, but when I awoke and looked out to sea, the ship had gone. It was nearly out of sight, a distant speck on the horizon. Do you find any difficult words? One word is gather and the other one is speck. Gather means collect. And speck means a tiny spot. I will tell you what it is. For many days we went from one island to another, trading and making a profit. Sinbad and his merchant friends went for the journey and they traveled from one island to another. They moved from one island to another and they sold their goods and got some profit. And one day though, We came to an island that seemed to be covered with fruit trees. One day they reached an island. The specialty of the island is there are many fruit trees. There are many trees with fruits. And there was no person or no animal anywhere, and they reached the shore. And my friends went to gather fruits and flowers, but I took some food and sat in the shade of a huge tree. And they reached the shore, and his friends went to gather means went to collect fruits and flowers. But Sinbad, what does he do? He sat there under the shade of a tree and have some food. After eating a good meal, I lay down to sleep. After having the food, what does Sinbad do? He lay down and went to sleep. I don't know how long I slept, but when I awoke and looked out to sea, the ship had gone. It was nearly out of sight, a distant speck on the horizon. What does he do? He have some food and slept for a long time. And what happens when he awoke and when he got up? Nobody is there. None of his friends were there. He looked around, but the ship had gone without calling him. His friends had went away. He was only alone in the island. It was nearly out of sight, a distant speck on the horizon. When he looked onto the sea, he saw a tiny spot of his ship at a distant place. Got it? What happens? He and his friends traveled from one island to another, and they sell their goods and make some profit. And they reached an island, and there was full of fruit trees. And his friends went to collect the fruits. But what does Sinbad do? Sinbad went under the shade of a tree and had some food. After having the food, he slept under the shade of the tree. After waking up, he didn't see any of his friends. They have went away without taking him. Okay, paragraph 3. I called out to my companions, but they had gone. Not knowing what to do, I climbed up at the top of a tall tree and looked out over the island. In the distance, I could see something white, and I decided to find out what it was. I packed up my remaining food and set off across the island. Okay, paragraph 3, does this paragraph says? It says that he called out his companions. Companions means his friends, his fellow beings, but they had gone. They had moved away from him. Not knowing what to do, he had no idea what to do because he is all alone in the island. He climbed upon the top of a tree. He saw a tall tree and he climbed upon the top of the tall tree and looked out over the island. He looked over the island. In the distance, I could see something white. What does he do? He got up at the top of a tall tree and he saw something white somewhere at a distant place. I decided to find out what it was. He was very eager to see or to know what the white color is. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് അദ്ദേഹം എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? ഒരു വലിയ പൊക്കമുള്ള മരത്തിന്റെ മുകളിൽ കയറിയപ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? ദൂരെയായിട്ട് അദ്ദേഹം എന്താണ് ഒരു വൈറ്റ് കളർ കണ്ടു. അപ്പൊ അദ്ദേഹം ഈഗർ, ഹി വാസ് വെരി മച്ച് ഈഗർ, ഹി വാണ്ട്സ് ടു നോ വാട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ്. അതെന്താണെന്ന് അറിയാൻ എന്താണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഒരു ആകാംക്ഷ തോന്നി. I packed up my remaining food and set off across the island. What does he do? He packed the remaining food, and what does he do then? After packing the food, he planned to go across the island. He's planned to move across the island, to move away, to move to the island. Third paragraph എന്താണ് sum up ചെയ്യുന്നത്? അദ്ദേഹം എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? He called out for his companions, his friends. അദ്ദേഹം എന്താണ്? അയാളുടെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സിനെ വിളിച്ചു, ബട്ട് ദേ ഡിഡ്ന്റ് ഹിയർ ഹിം. Then what does he do? അദ്ദേഹം ഒരു മരത്തിൽ കയറുകയും കയറിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? He looked everywhere. He looked everywhere. എല്ലായിടവും നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? He saw something white. അദ്ദേഹം ദൂരെയായിട്ട് എന്തോ വൈറ്റ് കളർ കണ്ടു. അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? എന്നിട്ട് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് ഫുഡും പാക്ക് ചെയ്ത് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? അത് ലക്ഷ്യമാക്കി, ആ വൈറ്റ് കളർ എന്താണെന്ന് ലക്ഷ്യമാക്കി അദ്ദേഹം എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? നടന്നു. Then let's sum up this page number 80. In page 80 എന്താണ് പറയുന്നത്? We saw a character named Sinbad. He is telling the stories to a listener, to his friend. Sometimes his friend. Where does Sinbad live? Sinbad lives in Baghdad. And what does he plan? He planned that he won't go for any journey anymore. But he was bored with the quiet life. So he planned to or set for the second journey. And he called his friends and set for the same. Then what happens? Days pass. They move from one island to another. Finally, they reached an island. What is the speciality of the island? There were many fruit trees. And after seeing the fruit trees, his friends, what did they do? They went to collect the fruits and flowers. But Sinbad, did he went for collecting the fruits and flowers? No. He sat under the shade of the tree and had his food. After having his food, what does he do? He slept there. After waking up, did he saw any friends? No, he didn't see any friends because they went away, not calling him. Then what does he do? He called aloud his friends to help him. I am here, but they didn't hear. And then what did he do? He climbed up on the top of a tall tree and looked everywhere, looked over the island, and he saw a white color some far away. Then he packed up the remaining food and set for what is the white color there. Take page number 84. Section A, reading comprehension. Shall we do the first question? Choose the correct answer to complete the sentences. Look at the first question. Sinbad was dash in Baghdad. First option happy, second one bored, third option sad, and fourth tired. Sinbad was dash in Baghdad. Sinbad was bored in Baghdad. Tick the bored option. B-O-R-E-D, bored option. Tick the bored, B-O-R-E-D, bored option. Okay. The B option. What does bored mean? Bored means മടുക്കുക. അദ്ദേഹം എന്താണ്? സിംബാദ് എന്താണ്? ബാഗ്ദാദില് എന്താണ് ജോലിക്കൊന്നും പോകാതിരുന്നപ്പോ he was bored. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് എന്ത് തോന്നി? മടുപ്പ് തോന്നി. Let's look the second question. He climbed up to the top of a tall dash to look around the island. What does he do? Sinbad climbed up the top of a tall dash to look around the island. First option mountain, second option bird, third option tree, and fourth option hill. What does he do? He climbed the top of a tall tree. Tick the tree option, C option. Tree means mara. He climbed the top of a tall tree to look around the island. Okay. Page number 84. Mark these answers. Question number A, reading comprehension. 1 and 2 questions. These portions we covered today. Okay. Thank you.